What's up, everybody? This is your girls, Carice
and Crystal,
aka Millen Twins. Exclusive, the amazing,
the phenomenal,
the intelligent,
the beautiful,
the wonderful
first black female
state's attorney, Kim Foxx.
An exclusive interview
with the Millen Twins. Up next. So first, Miss Kim Foxx, before the Millen Twins get started,
yes,
we want to say that we are celebrating you, not just because it's Black History Month,
right,
every month, because you are making a difference. And for you to be the first Black female state's attorney, you are an inspiration, literally an inspiration to my sister and I, and probably not just to us. I know
to others.
All women are looking at you, and you are doing your thing. And we are excited, and we thank you for taking the words of your mom, of her telling you this world belongs to you. And you took those words and you made your thoughts become a thing. So we want to say we appreciate you and we celebrate you.
Oh, and thank you. With that being said, when you are going through hard times and you feel like you are struggling and you just want to give up, just keep going, because you are definitely inspiring others, you are making a difference, and you are changing people's lives. And we just want you to continue to strive towards greatness, because that's who you are. And never allow anyone to tell you different.
Thank you. Okay, this is a way to start.
Yes, come on, pass the offering basket. Yes, we appreciate you.
That means a lot. Thank you.
Yes. So we're going to get to the fun questions.
You ready? All right. So what are your biggest achievements? Now, we know you have a 36,000-page resume, and I'm on 2,500. I'm almost there. But no, what are your biggest achievements?
You know, in the office, I think it's being thoughtful about using the power of the prosecutor to do good, to repair harms. And so I think the biggest has been this historic marijuana legalization bill that was recently passed. Not so much just because I wanted to legalize marijuana, but because the war on drugs ravaged so many communities, particularly Black communities. And this bill is unlike any bill in the country, in that we have put a mechanism in to vacate convictions of people who had been previously convicted of marijuana possession. And so we estimate there are 770,000 records eligible to be vacated or expunged in Illinois, and almost 70% here in Cook County. So it will have generational effects on those people who couldn't get jobs, housing, scholarships, to be able to like re-enter into our workforce. And not only just for them, but the communities that they live in will prosper. So I'm really proud of that.
Wow, that's exciting. Wow. Okay. So what are your plans to address the underlying cause of violence and trauma that our youth are facing in their communities?
I think first we have to acknowledge that that's what's driving a lot of our violence, is this untreated trauma, that we have a lot of people who are hurting and don't have access to resources to be able to heal. And, you know, we all know the mantra, hurt people, hurt people.
Yes.
That's real.
It is.
Right? It's very real when you have young children who are witnessing murder and violence in their communities and still have to show up at school, still have to be able to walk past places where someone has been slain. And that affects their ability to think. It affects their ability to learn. I mean, there's a science to this that says that children who are exposed to trauma, their brain development is different. And so I think for our justice system, we have to be thoughtful about what causes people to engage in violence, not just responding to it. Because if you just respond, if you just act like we're talking about good people versus bad people, and not recognizing that all of us have the ability to fall on this side, we're going to miss it. And so we've been working with mental health professionals, substance use disorder professionals, to say, help us help you. Help us like deal with these issues in the community so that we are not the first place that someone can get mental health treatment is in our jails. That's a perversion of the system. And so for us, it is really working with people who know this work, who are experts in this, and saying let's work in partnership to keep people out of the system who don't belong, and prevent violence by treating people's underlying issues.
Wow, and that's a big thing, because my sister and I, being early childhood educators, we see in the Head Start community where our babies are coming in and they're saying, yeah, my daddy went to jail yesterday. And it's like, why is this the norm?
It's the norm.
Why is this okay? So it's us making a difference to change their mindset. Jail is not a fun place.
That's right.
You know, and switching, we have to get educated. And you can do what you want to do, and you can put whatever you put your mind to keep them from focusing on what's happening outside. You know, catching them at an early age.
And also educating the parents. You know,
Definitely.
being honest with and be transparent with their children, because a lot of our parents will say, "Oh, they just went to school." No, and they feel that jail is school. No, be transparent to let them know that jail is not a great place. You know, let's try to stay out of here and redirect them into a positive light. So that's amazing what you are talking about. And the mental health is real. You know,
And we have to stop stigmatizing it. And, you know, I want to honor and acknowledge the work of our early childhood educators, of our teachers, you all on the front lines. So you see these young people firsthand when they're hungry, when they're scared, when they're juggling a lot. And I've always said, like, that access that you all have, we should have greater partnerships with our justice system, because you know the kid who, listen, this is a bad day, bad week. We don't need to have them locked up for like behaviors here where that consequence will last with them for a long time. And so I don't think we do enough of tapping into the experts, not just mental health professionals, but teachers who have the ability to look at children and know when they're suffering or when they're thriving or when they're not reaching their fullest potential.
Definitely. It starts with the mental health.
Yeah.
The mental health.
okay, so you are for Cabrini Green.
Yes.
And we have a best friend who's from Cabrini Green, and her mindset is like mind-blowing. I'm like, oh, the way you think is amazing. And how has that environment shaped you? And at what point did you say, I want to work in politics?
That environment shaped me in that it was a tough neighborhood to grow up in. You know, I grew up there in the 70s and 80s, and it was, you know, there was violence was the norm. But we also had some amazing families who were there, who looked out for one another. That if I was crossing the street, so it was like 5 different sets of eyes on me. If I knocked somebody down, they done called up to my grandmother's house before I got up to the 8th floor. So just an amazing, resilient group of people who lived there. And I think probably like your friend, you learn to develop a hustle. You learn to develop a work ethic, because you're not supposed to make it out of neighborhoods like that. And so when you do, you really want to, rep hard for your neighborhood and prove that you are just as, you know, qualified, competent as other neighborhoods. We just didn't have the chance. But I think I didn't want to go into politics as a young person. I didn't want to go in politics as a middle-aged person. I think because I grew up in Cabrini and didn't see the political system working for our neighborhood. You know, I would see the billboards up in the same garbage-strewn lots every couple years and be like, why would you vote for that person? Mama, the lot is still dirty. But it wasn't until, you know, I worked for the president of the county board, President Preckwinkle, and saw the power of if you had an elected official who really cares about the community, who's not worried about re-election, but worried about the impact. And so for me, when I was running for office, I was always driven by, what would I tell the people from the neighborhood? If I finally got into a seat like this, if I finally got power, how do I answer to them? And so most of my policy initiatives have been aimed towards the people who I would have to see if I saw again. Was I continuing to perpetuate, you know, rules and policies that were hurting them? And so it's that drive from people who don't have access to roles like this, that it's a privilege to serve and a privilege to be their voice, that has made politics palatable for me.
And this is why we voted for you the first time, and why we're going to vote for you again, because we believe that transparency, it speaks volume. Because a lot of people are looking for people who were raised or born with a silver spoon or gold spoon in their mouth. It's like, no, I'm just like you. I came from this, but look at where I can be now and the changes that I'm making. So we thank you for your transparency. It makes a difference. It makes us, or it teaches us, we can make a change.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
And you using your platform to make a difference. A lot of people have high platforms and they're not using it for the good, but you are. So that's a key thing.
I know.
I need some tips. No, I'm just
So we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to find out Kim Foxx response on race and it playing a role in the political system.